People didn't think that the 4-minute mile was possible.
No.
And now,
or doing a marathon in under 2 hours.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're very fucking close now. Very close. Hasn't someone done a 2 hour and 1 or 3 or something like that?
In competition, I think Kipchoge did 2 hour 1 minute,
Right,
and then under that unofficial record where he was marshalled by that team and had that car set in the perfect pace.
Yeah.
That was 1:58 or 59, I think.
Yeah, because a good few years ago now, when they first started running marathons and stuff, well, I mean, I don't know if I say when they first started, it's probably been a while, but they didn't believe, that it could be done in under 2.5 hours. And so it wasn't broken for a while because they set this boundary, no human could do it. And then someone ended up breaking it, and then it was broken like 7 times in that year because suddenly people are like, oh, you can break it. So it's just this like mental belief that you can't do something, and suddenly...
Yeah. There will come a point though.
Mate, the enhanced Olympics, mate. We'll see. We'll see. Then we'll be able to see peak human performance.
That's always been
enhanced, but you know.
Yeah, that's always been an idea of mine to have. But then you wonder, athletes going to either have to choose one or the other. So are the top level athletes going to rather having an Olympic medal or a crackhead Olympic medal?
I mean, the thing is, like, if they do the enhanced games, are you watching? Yeah, a lot of people are going to be watching. So I mean, I think it's going to be. I don't think you're ever going to be able to take away what is the Olympics. I don't think that's ever going to, you know, the history of it and everything else that goes with it. Nothing's going to replace that. But
so we're not actually going to see how fast a human can run, because if the best athletes are naturally going to choose the Olympics, that's something they've dreamed about.
Well, this is the thing: is like, well, if you do give performance-enhancing drugs to an athlete, how close to the best athletes do they have to be just to run faster? Because the people behind them and coming last in that 100-meter sprint are still running sub 10 seconds. So if one of them goes, fuck this, I don't have a chance, I've been doing this now for 5 years, I'm not getting any faster, I'm going to try the enhanced games, and suddenly he's running 0.5 quicker.
Yeah.
Probably not that much, that's a ridiculous amount.
I think last pace in
0.1 quicker, that's already beating the rest of them. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, suddenly if he does that and then you get someone who's seriously good and they're not too fussed about the Olympics or whatever for whatever reason, and they go to, I think we could see some... What was that?
People shouting over there. But something... an interesting thing that propels sports is if a new technique is discovered. So
yes,
like the Fosbury flop.
The Fosbury flop.
Yeah, so that's what in the high jump. You know how they jump backwards and arch their spine and then flick their legs
and go on over.
That's the Fosbury flop.
Oh, so what did they used to do?
So they used to just go straight over it, like
just run at it and just dive over,
try and hurdle it, and then they adapted it to running side on and like jumping and like flicking both your legs over one after the other. And then the matey boy, Mr. Fosbury
came
up with his new
what
method.
nation was he?
I can't remember. I only know his name because of the technique.
Yeah.
Did that and took high jumping to a new level. There was potential for that in the long jump, but it's quite frustrating. There was a coach and his athlete that took on the technique to front flip into the sandpit, because in the normal long jump technique, you actually have to fight your angular momentum. That's why you see them windmill in the air, because they're jumping forwards. Naturally, their upper body wants to tilt forwards, but they have to windmill to land, so their legs land first.
Yeah.
But if you don't,
so their asses don't touch. So it's done from the hill, isn't it?
Yeah. But they're still fighting to get their legs forward as opposed to the front, their top of their body.
Yeah.
But if you don't fight that angular momentum and you just launch yourself and front flip, you haven't got to fight that inertia.
Yeah.
And you can carry your legs farther. And if you do it right, you can just carry on running after you land.
Yeah.
So this coach was training with his athlete this method, and they took it to some event, and the marshals there and the governing body deemed it was too dangerous. They didn't want people to do it. So if they did allow that,
the thing is, surely that should be up to an athlete's discretion. No, like if you want to use that, like
no, because I mean, in this case, I disagree that they banned it. But in gymnastics, there've been a few moves that they've banned because they're too dangerous.
Yeah, and ice skating as well.
Mm.
I remember seeing the video
Yeah.
of the girl who like did an illegal flip or something like that. Yeah, I get it, but for something like long jumping.
Yeah, I agree with you. I
Yeah.
agree with you. And you also say in skateboarding, is there any illegal flips? Like they're doing all these flips over concrete. You don't get more dangerous than that.
That's a pretty good example. That's a very good example.
Yeah.
Or like the skeleton in Winter Olympics, or just
Yeah.
you know, as a sport,
Mm.
you're going down head first down a fucking ice slope,
Yeah, but I think
like
it's
permanent, like God knows what speed.
I think when they argue it is if a movement innately poses more injury risk to an athlete.
Yeah, I guess if there's athletes
Like training this method leads to overuse injuries in the shoulders or whatever.
Yeah. There's no soft way to really
Like-
land in sand doing a front flip over and over again, training
And
4 years straight and then competing.
If they've looked at athletes in a longitudinal study and gone, our top athletes are getting injured trying to do this trick. If we want to propel the sport, it's better not to have this trick in, so that every athlete doesn't feel like they need to use this insanely hard
because
trick.
what if you don't want to have to do it?
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
worried about the injury, it's not
Yeah.
what you signed up for because that's not what the sport is.
But
then
that gets you the highest points.
But then, it's the same with this. Like you were saying about the high jump, not the high jump,
long
pole
jump.
vault
Oh,
or something.
What's
Was that what
that?
you're on about? Pole vault.
No, high jump.
It was high jump, where you go over the back.
I mean, they do.
Like that was a
Yeah.
new technique. What if an athlete at that time said, "No, that's too dangerous. I don't want to go over my back. That looks awful." It's like tough luck. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, but
Right.
you're landing on a crash mat.
Maybe then what they need to figure out is what they're landing on better than sand.
Yeah. Well, an adaptation.
what-
I think they just need to make the sand pits bigger.
You're
They're
deeper.
so narrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you made it wider, you still just measure that straight distance. Don't go on angular distance.
Yeah, it's not exactly like there's a shortage of sand.
Yeah.
It's plenty. Go to Weymouth.
But with this technique as well, you can get athletes to the level where they don't need the sand. Because if you're landing on your feet, you just carry on running. You probably want a firmer surface.
Yeah, so maybe they just need to buck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remove the sand.
I don't know what it's like to be
do
a
these
long
front
jump
flips.
athlete, but
But yeah,
buck
if you
up.
look at what people are getting now, if they learn this new technique, they can easily add on an extra half meter to a meter.
that much by doing a fucking front flip.
You got to think about it.
Jesus
Like
fuck.
you're jumping, and then you're pushing your legs
Yeah.
further than your center of mass.
Extra
Whereas
meter.
if you're just going over and you're letting your center of mass just
So
throw your legs over.
what are they currently jumping now then? I remember seeing the video of the guy like jumped over the sand, like jumped so far, it was like 7 meters or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
like
I know. I think it's close to 9. I think
9
it's
meters.
8.
So you're looking at jumping 10, 11 meters
Yeah,
by doing a front flip.
potentially.
Humans are getting weird. You know what I mean, we're
'Cause
just
I-
doing ridiculous
yeah.
shit now. Like, this is just insane. 10 meters.
Because have you watched? Have you seen any of those videos of people doing flips over cars?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
See
I've
how they
definitely seen
clear
it.
that?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
I've
like
definitely.
high and
Especially when it's
far.
supercars, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, and the thing is, the car needs to be going fast.
No,
So, like,
not even driving. Like people would do it over a stationary car. Some people, if they go tumbling, can do
I ain't
it over
seen
a
that.
couple. It's nuts.
I have not seen that.
You think
That's
for some
nuts.
athletes, jumping over a car wouldn't be that
Yeah.
hard. And you've got these long jumpers who are 6'8", long springy legs.
Built like beanstalks.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have we been running for?
I did stop it about 5 minutes in, so probably like 25 minutes. Half an hour maybe.
Right.
20 minutes I'm here.
So,
I adjusted the angle as well,
so
just to get a couple
Sweet.
of,
what time is it?
it's like 3:15.
Bill will be ready at 4.
At 4.
Probably aim to get
So,
moving pretty soon.
is there any other shots or anything you want to get quickly? Because it's
You
pretty
could-
much our last chance before you
you
go
could
away.
get-
Thumbnail, yeah.
Get some varied thumbnail shots.
Yeah. Well, that felt so much more relaxed than last time.
Mm.
the mic becomes like just a century point I'm trying to keep to. I don't think about now trying to be close to the mic. I just think about close to being here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It almost helps with the conversation because there's something to like focus on.
Or just fill the space, I feel like.
Yeah, and it allows you to. It's like a trigger for right. This is time for just conversation and thinking. Do you know what I mean?
So you touched the mic probably 4 times.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I kept fucking adjusting. I know.
And again, I did the same thing last time where I didn't fucking.
2 audio files.
Oh,
I